Welcome back to another reaction for Witch Hat Atelier episode 8.
恐れることはない。魔法の記憶を失えば、その恐怖さえ忘れられる。ただ知らざる者になるだけだ。
違うって言ってるのに、どうして話を聞いてくれないの?
So yeah, this is to remove memories. Now, he doesn't really know who is responsible, right? He's assuming it's her. But it could also be Agot, right? So, are we also trying to erase her memory?
やだ!
Right, her pillow spell? Can we call it pillow? The one she was using against the dragon, meaning the fireballs are from Kifri?
竜の砂床? アガトたちが説明しようとしてたのに、お話聞かないなんてひどいよ!
何者だ?
What do you mean, who are they? You're coming here, you don't know what is going on, you don't know she got taken in by Kifre?
子供だ。旗を焼かれた。
リチェも子供のこと、子供って名前の生き物だと思ってる大人。嫌い。
重要なのは事情ではなく。
Oh, Kifre is not even here, okay. You use the fire magic. I'm assuming the blue-haired girl?
掟違反という事実だ。今の世界の
Whoa. What do we have here? Again, a lot of different sigils. Not sigils, signs. So we have 3 different types of signs. Interesting. I wonder what they all do. All of the signs also have 2 different components. They have like a main body and then a second part. In this case, sometimes an arrow, sometimes a claw. But the claw can also be the main body. I feel like we have not seen... Is it levitation? No, it's not levitation. Is it? I also am unable to understand the sigil. But I guess it has something to do with his... whatever he's using to catch people.
今の世界の秩序と平和は、すべての魔法使いが厳格に掟を守ることのみで保たれている。ほころびがあれば崩壊は一瞬。故に例外が存在してはならない。
子供たちの話は聞かないくせに自分はたっぷり話すんだな。僕の弟子に手を出さないでくれ、イースヒーズ。
なるほど。お前の弟子だったのか。死によく似て不遜な生徒たちだ。
君に似るなら優等生なんてクソくらいだよ。これが魔系団の仕事というならなおさらだ。
So they don't know she got taken in as an apprentice? I feel like with how the word is structured, it feels like that specific witch ateliers have specific clothing. So because he knows Kifre, he probably knows his witch atelier, I'm assuming. Maybe they were only together for school like 10 years ago, whatever. But seeing them should instantly give you the information these people are from Keyfrey. Now, if you were a normal person, I would say maybe you don't need to. You don't need to know that. But as the Knight Morales, you seem to be responsible for upholding the law. I feel like you should be able to identify which atelier or which atelier they are coming from. I know there are a bunch of those, but it seems like you can identify them with the color of the head and uniform. So a little bit worrying that you were unable to do that, especially because Coco had the witch uniform. I'm calling it a uniform, the head and the rest. Wouldn't that instantly tell you that she is an apprentice of someone? Especially with all the other ones gathering around, you should be like, hey, they're apprentices of whom exactly? Right? A normal person can't just get this type of uniform.
我々は秩序を守りたいだけだ。
Also weird that you don't understand what children are. Seemingly.
ダダ山脈やスリスタスの影森のように大地を変えるほどの強力な魔法は結託の日以前の戦魔法だ。
So the first test is because of magic, the data range. And the second area, the Shadow Forest of Tristas. Was it also in the first test? Probably not, right? I could imagine it's the second test. The one Agot is preparing for?
それが今のように発動したとなれば、しかるべき対処をして当然のこと。
だとしても、事情を聞かずに突然記憶を奪うのはおかしいよ。それに、この規模の魔法を完成させる技術も道具も、僕は弟子に与えた覚えはないな。
お前が与えずとも、ツバーリボウが与えた可能性は
Why are you asking questions? Because you were pretty willing to just punish people. You did not care about who is responsible. You did not care to try and uphold the law and get the person behind all of this. You just saw someone, you declared them guilty, you were trying to erase their memory, therefore not having any clue what happened. Because as soon as their memory is gone, you don't have any clue anymore. No one is there to tell you what happened. But you are just going to say, yup, job done. No wonder the brimmed heads are never caught. Who did we look at? No clue. Wait. Huh? He looks similar to the to our guy, right? He also has an eye mask.
おいお前ら言い争うのも結構だが魔法使いの果たすべき務めを忘れたのか人々に魔法の恩恵をあいつらの方がよほどその意味を分かってるぞぼーっとしてないでみんな手伝えよ便利な旗持ってんだろ
それで治るのか
いいえ止血しただけですこのままカルンへ運びますすぐに医者に見せれば命に危険は
俺は見たぞその旗を魔法で元通りにしたろこの子の怪我も治せるんだろ魔法にはその力があるはずだ
いいえ、ありません。
そんなはずは。
手を離しなさい。それとも彼を運ぶのをやめますか？
I mean, I can understand why he is desperate. However, you have someone who's willing to help you and you just interfere with them helping is a little bit... doesn't really lead to the result you want, right? Not even saying... I mean, she could, and I assume she would, just leave the kid here, and then it's done. Now, we do know there is healing magic. It is just forbidden, which I feel like is a little bit stupid. But maybe the idea is, hey, if you do healing magic, it's like one step away from doing other stuff on the human body, which is definitely not what they want.
悪かった。その子を頼みます。
I
現
imagine
場を
there are some people, some mages, witches who are allowed to use healing magic.
封鎖し、魔法使い以外が入れないようにしろ。知らざる者が去ったら、改めて精査せねばならん。
What investigation? You came in, you declared someone... No, fuck off. You came in, you declared someone responsible and wanted to punish them. You did zero investigation. I don't know what you want to... You can't continue what you don't have. Did the opening always have the specific quill? I mean, it's not even a quill, right? It's a pen. Oh. I never knew that. Misgivings of the Knights Morales.
一般的な基礎魔法だ。
What the fuck are we doing? I can tell you what the spell does. I can't. Not 100%. But you should definitely know that the spell is not able to do what you assume it did. It's not the size, it doesn't have the sigils. It probably is a more complicated spell. I'm assuming the spell would have to have some repeating factor in it to do this, instead of having like a massive sigil, casting sigil, seal, whatever. Right? There has to be something that just repeats the casting seal on adjacent objects.
これじゃあ川岸を丸ごと崩すのは無理だな。
だね。
But this spell they all should know. It's a basic
手を
spell.
見せろ。ツバーリ棒は時々魔法陣を入れ墨にして掘り込んでいる。肉体の強化や変化、魔法の力を増幅させる禁止魔法。
I mean, now we are talking. Now we are doing investigation. Because the biggest part here is forbidden spells to enhance or alter the physical form. That is a big part. Because, okay, maybe this Brimmed had changed their physical appearance to look like a child. Okay. But again, you did not... This is not how you tried it at the beginning. You were just like, guilty, erase memory, get rid of evidence, essentially.
育ちたてのペンダコに魔木で汚れたって。
もういいでしょう。もういいでしょう。
大講堂に報告した後、この件の調査を開始する。問題のもとがやはりお前たちにあるとなれば容赦はしないぞ。学んだそばから失わぬようせいぜい気をつけることだな。
I guess the rest already disappeared. I'm assuming they helped the other people, and that is why they were not there. But again, I would lodge a complaint if that is even possible, to just say, hey, he's not following protocol. He's not investigating and then punishing. He's punishing before even investigating.
ああ、ヒヤヒヤした。よかったよ、みんな無事で。大人が2人とも離れるべきじゃなかったね。本当にごめん。
先生たちのせいじゃないよ。みんなが
とはいえ、アガット、ここ。すごく危ないことをしたという自覚は持ってほしい。もし誰かに魔法の秘密がバレていたら、助けた人全員の記憶を消さなければならないところだった。記憶はその人の人生そのものだ。そういったものを天秤にかける行いをしたんだよ。
ごめんなさい。
Yeah, you should be careful. So next time, let them die. Just let them die. Because then their memories are still intact. They're dead, but, you know, memories erased, but living, or being dead, but memories intact. You know, it's like a 50-50. What are you talking about? Better them having all their memories erased, but all of them alive, than the kid dying. He was the only one really that was close to death, potentially.
気をつけます。
Still.
これで試験は遠ざかってしまった。
でも君たちはやってのけた。だから第2の試験を受ける申請をしておくね、アガット。受かったら実務に同行する実力が十分にあると認められる。それまでは人前で魔法を使わないと約束できるかい？
はい。アガットだけ？先生、テティアたちは？
君たちはまだ基礎魔法教本を最後までかけてないでしょ。
Why are you doing this? What is a casting primer? What do you mean? Do you mean preparing a bunch of spells before?
リチェ、試験嫌いだからどうでもいい。
試験って他にもあるんだ。
おいキーフリー、いいのか？アガットの焦りを心配していたんだろ
う。うん。でも今はそうじゃない。それなら僕は信じてあげるべきかなって。
甘すぎだろう。
自分に厳しい生徒たちを持つとそうなるんだよ。
キーフリー先生、早く帰って練習したいです。
ちょっと待って。
Oh, he's bringing water back.
あともう一つやるべきことがある。
キーフリーの新しい弟子ってあの子だろ？噂が本当なら。
噂を真実だと証明できるか？
いや、あの石化した家で証拠を探すのは無理だな。
I find it interesting that they are calling it petrified. It looked like ice, right? The reason they're calling it petrified? Was it stone and it just looked like ice, maybe?
ならば自白させるしかあるまい。見ろ、あの魔法のせいで下流の川が干上がりかけている。一つの落石が岸を崩し流れを変え、下流は変化を余儀なくされる。そうして美しかった元の風景は。
What is this? Why is he the captain of the Knight Morales? Of this group? How is the most stupid guy in control? Why don't you just use magic to revert this problem, right? How about you give it water as example? Which is most likely what Kifre is doing. But instead of doing anything, you are like, yeah, you know, area's fucked. Let's just go.
永久に失われてしまうのだ。あの娘は最初の落石、転がり落ちる可能性があるなら何としてでも取り除かねば。
オルーギオのペンは特殊でね。いぶしばりの杖といって。
Sear wire wand. I guess a wand that can draw into stone. It does look different. It looks like one of those drink wands that Nordics used, supposedly.
石や木に魔法陣を焼き付けることができるんだ。
Okay. We did use casting seals in stone, though. Now, I don't know what kind of stone that was, but we did, wherever the dragon was, use casting seals on stone. Now, I mean, you need the ink anyway, so. Also, we have more new signs. We also have a double circle, which still is no idea. No idea how a double circle works.
応急処置だけどな。
No, 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 no. I mean, look at this. We have a sigil and two signs, I guess. Then a circle, then a bunch of signs that do stuff in a different circle. So double circle. Even though the circle activates the spell.
「川の水も戻り始めた。砂人化魔法の効果が切れ始めたんだろう。
So is he in the head, the
はい、
brimmed
落とし物。
guy?
気をつけてね。帽子も魔木も置き忘れたら大変だ。
ごめんなさい。ありがとうございます。あれ、おかしいな。私の魔木全然減ってない。魔法の小瓶とかなんですか？ずっと増え続けるとか？
ココ、ちょっとそれ見せてもらえるかい？
Yeah, so he definitely is in the head, right? I would have to go back to see if before she rescued the kid, she probably lost her head. So the assumption is that he is in the head, which, because the title, which had Atelier, would make it more believable. But I feel like they wouldn't know that, right? It seems like the head is one that can turn over on itself to make the pattern. Maybe inside that is the casting seal that is like a different dimension, maybe?
先生？
Could also be teleportation.
魔法は世界を彩る偽り。美しい魔法を書くための手はこんなにインクで汚れるのに。嘘は近づけばバレるもの。いつまで隠しておけるかな。
I was wondering if you can mix your blood in the ink. I don't know what it does. Because my previous idea would have been to use your blood instead of ink. But maybe not possible. I'm just thinking about what happens if you lose your ink. You probably need to get some replacement. Blood would be one way, right? Him mixing, or her, whatever. Brimmed Head mixing their ink with blood? I don't know. Does it make it stronger? Maybe? It feels like some of the rules we got taught are not entirely true. So maybe you don't even need the typical.
この魔木はカルンでノルナーさんにもらったものだったね。
はい。
オルギオ、先にみんなを連れてアトリエに帰っていてくれ。
あ？お前はどこ行くつもりだよ。
僕はこの間の騒ぎで個々のペンを買いそびれてしまったからね。すぐ近くだし、カルンに寄ってから帰るよ。
Are we going to see the pen?
樹密酒。
初摘みと熟成もの1本ずつ。
よし、任された。
ごめんね。どうしても確認したいことがあるんだ。
Okay. So yeah, I'm not watching the opening too much. Openings are too spoilery nowadays, so always careful around that. However, at the end there was a specific pen, very colorful pen, that had a little bit of it looked a little bit like a cobra head. A thin head type that then goes bulging out and then comes back together. So I'm assuming that is what we are going to get. If we even get the pen.
あれ？ドアが消えてる。
ああ、しまった。今日はお店が休みなのか。
お休みだとお店ごと消えるんですか？
あ、キーフリーさん。とこの間の。
タータ君、よかった。ノルノアさんに用があって。
ああ、ちょっと待ってて。
What do we have here? So this is essentially a window way, right? It looks like partially a window way. New signs, new way to do this, a double circle again. Similar to the window way, but the window way had like 3 circles, right? This one just has like 1 circle extra. That's a lot that is
どう
happening.
ぞ入って。
この間と部屋が
Yeah, I just wanted to say this doesn't look like the shop anymore.
全然違う。
The tree's gone, no
ドアノブによ
pirate
って部屋が
staircase.
違うのは当たり前だろ。
Excuse me, what? Different doorknobs mean different rooms. Everyone knows that. No? No, we don't. So it is a window way. Or a window doorway? Essentially. So depending on what type of doorknob you use, it goes to a different room. How does that work? Are the rooms physically in this location? Or are they in like a spatial dimension and you just connect them depending on which knob you use? Because this is not really like the window way. The window way is like 2 permanent locations that you can connect. You can more or less do like a wormhole between. But here you could go to the same spot where he used his doorknob, use a different doorknob, and then get to the shop, to his room, I don't know, to someone else's house. So that means that it teleports somewhere. Then the question is, where are the rooms located? Are they here? Are they somewhere specific?
当たり前だろ。じいちゃんは多分3階です。
ありがとう。お邪魔するね。
あんた待って。名前。
ここだよ。私はここ。
ここ。その右足の怪我、早く消毒した方がいい。奥に来て。いたわりそうがあるから貼ってやるよ。
Okay. Different colored ink. Is it all magic ink? Can you just color it? Does it change?
知らないマザイがいっぱいだ。綺麗。このいろんな色の粉は何？
Oh, it's a
あ
powder.
んまりいじらないで。配列変わったら困るから。マゾメの染料だよ。魔木の効果を強化するための混ぜ物。
To alter its effect. Okay, so this is the part they were, or the grandpa was investigating, which imprisoned our girls. Okay, so you mix them into the ink to alter its effect. Interesting. We saw him add his blood to the ink. So it has a different, it alters some of the effect. In what way? Is there some rhyme or reason, or is that more or less a tryout kind of deal? You have to get a new component, put it to ink, check what it does. And then the question is, how does it change the effect? Stronger spells, longer spells, more efficient spells, or does it alter the effect of the spells entirely?
なんだ。
ノルノアさん。
キーフリー、今日は天休日じゃぞ。
ええ。ですが。
なんてな。分かっとるよ。お前さんの用事は。路地のタイルに書かれていた魔法陣のことじゃろ。まだ何も分かっとらんよ。いろんなマゾメを分離する魔法を試したが、見事なまでに解けていてな。お前さんは何か掴んだのかね？
Try to spell to separate out the magic dice. But they are blended together quite thoroughly. I did not even consider that, let's say you have two magic dice. One you add the blue powder, one you add the red powder. They have different effects. And then you add both of them together. Maybe you make the magic circle, specific parts out of one die, specific other parts out of the other die to enhance its effect. Maybe you mix different colors or different components into the die to have a specific combination of effects. Seems like that is what they did here. And he was unable to separate them easily. But he's still working on it.
お前さんは何か掴んだのかね？
実はあるものを手に入れて。
Ink with blood?
これは似ておる。いや、ほのかな青みが全く同じじゃ。
Okay. So it changes color. It changes the hue a little bit.
お前さん、こいつをどこで？ちょっと待て。 これわしの瓶か？
Why are you not telling us what is happening? Is it not from the silver tree?
あの日だ。あの時、ツバーリ棒が瓶に魔法をかけたんだ。
何をしとる？書く前にまずその魔木を調べてから。キーフリー
Just draw a simple spell, right?
あの浅瀬色の染料はあの浅瀬色の染料はなんて名前？天井のところの大きなやつ。
あれは月草花の粉。混ぜると魔法の効果が長持ちするんだ。
反対側の棚にある小さい瓶の白くてキラキラしたやつは？
花嫁町の鱗粉だよ。あれを混ぜると魔木が透明になって魔法陣の線を隠せるんだ。
Excuse me, what? So do you have to remember that? Is that on the test? I feel like it's on the test. So the light blue makes the spell stronger. Right? Stronger? Not longer? No, last longer. The white stuff, which seems to be somewhat rare, not a lot. So the blue stuff we have a lot of, but the white stuff not a lot of. Because it's from an animal, seemingly. Makes the casting ink invisible. Which I feel like is pretty broken. Being able to do invisible magic. It feels like it is rare. Because otherwise, why wouldn't everyone use this? I do feel like it would be hard to draw magic seals. Or casting seals. If the ink is invisible. But if you can, you could just use magic out in the open and no one could really understand what you're doing. Because they can't see the seals. Again, I feel like it's rare.
せるんだ。
その隣は？
細長い瓶は旅人貝の粉。
Powdered roaming scallops, a narrow bottle. How's the dark blue one?
反対の丸っぽい瓶。
The squad around one just beyond is powdered golden blaze worm scale. Could you use a longer name, please? Also, you did not explain what these two do.
瓶は禁煙竜の鱗の粉。
What is the effect?
すごいやったタくん。ここにある染料の名前全部覚えてるの？
まあ商品だし。
いいな。
There are also like a million other colors. There are also different kind of hues of blue and stuff. So the question is, if you mix like the white with some of the blue, because these are the only two we know what they do you have a casting seal that is lasting longer and invisible? Right? I feel like at some point we will have casting seals that have different parts use different colors. Because let's say we want to use a light blue. We want to make this casting seal last longer. What part do we need to color light blue? The sigil? The signs? The circle? Do we need to get like 50% plus? So it lasts longer, or is it the more blue ink you use, the longer the spell? Like a linear effect. Because then you could have like some of the sigils and stuff, you could use the white stuff on to make it invisible. So some of the effects are not easily seen. Right? The question is, can we do that? Is that possible? How does it work?
マザー屋さんに住めるなんて。棚とか瓶とか壁一面に並んでるだけでワクワクしちゃう。タータくんが羨ましいよ。
アトリエの方がいいに決まってる。あんた魔法使いなのに変なこと言うんだな。
タータ君も魔法使いの見習いなんじゃないの？
俺は
あの赤い粉はなんていう染料なの？
どれ？
Hmm.
あれ、あの棚。
ん？
No. We don't go and touch it. We don't play around with it.
浅瀬色と枯葉色の間にあるやつ。
だから何段目のどれだよ。
すっごく赤くて目立つやつだよ。
Hmm? Either he cannot see it, which I don't believe, or he's colorblind. Oh, I was wondering, are they getting attacked? No, it was Kiefer using his spell.
なんだ今の光。
びっくりした。大丈夫？よかった。瓶が割れ。
Yeah, he can't differentiate colors. He probably is fully colorblind. He probably has no visual of colors. Because none of the things he really... He did mention white. I believe, the only one. But all the other ones he was describing the bottle it was in instead of what color it is. He said the narrow tube has this one, the dark purple, which he didn't mention the color, even though it is the easiest one to differentiate theoretically. And the one at the back is the one that has the dragon scale thingy, which was like an orange. Again, he did not mention the color. So they all had these tags. But now that they are all, first off, interesting, none of the bodies are damaged. But now that they are off, they need to put them back on. But he can't differentiate the colors. So he has to guess. Now, quite frankly, I'm assuming his master knows that. I'm just assuming. And if that is the case, you should use different styles of bodies more often to make it easier to differentiate.
てなくて。
よくないよ。最悪だ。ラベルが外れてバラバラになってる。
Either he's colorblind or no one else can see the colors of the powders?
じいちゃんから触るなって言われてたのに、めちゃくちゃだ。
ごめんね。手伝うから元の位置に戻そう。何の粉かわかる？どの色がどの原材料の？
わかんないよ。
So he... Okay.
でもさっきは。
置いてある場所で種類を覚えただけ。色で見分けたわけじゃない。ごめん。もう帰ってくれ。
でも。
悪いけど、ここが手伝えることは何もないよ。人にはできることとできないことがあるんだ。銀ダミ症の俺の目じゃ、いくら勉強しても魔法使いにはなれないように。
So yeah, he can't differentiate colors, which is interesting. I don't know why that is important for being a witch. Maybe you use these colored inks more often than I assumed. Now, theoretically, he knows some of the colors, maybe even all of the colors. The problem is that he most likely has never remembered the color because it was not useful. Right? So I do feel like she would be able to help. I mean, she can at least sort them by colors first off, and then she could put the tags that are similar colors together. So some of the work is already done. But either they use some of the color and try it out in ink to see the effect, or they have to wait for the uncle to come, or grandpa.
俺言わんこっちゃない。キフリ、大丈夫かね。キフリ、あんな小さな魔法陣であの規模の威力とは。
これはおそらく双子瓶の魔法です。入れ物は2つ、中身は1つ。きっと魔法陣が掘られた小さなメダルが沈めてあるはず。ココはこれを使わされたんだ。減った分だけ増えたのは謎の混ぜ物で補充したから。この瓶は彼らとつながっている。
He's so obsessed with finding the brimmed head, which I feel like we are going to find out soon why. But interesting. So, two bodies are linked together. And while he's refilling it with his blood, which seemingly has an effect on the ink, makes the space stronger, the light blue was making it last longer, but his blood is making it stronger, which would mean that potentially Coco was the one destroying the whole area with her spell, because the ink she used was supercharged.
やっと捉えた。
なんてことだ。小さくて雑な陣でも強力な力を発揮する魔木じゃと。そんなものがこの世にあっちゃならん。わしの手には余る代物じゃ。大講堂にお知らせせれば。
ダメです。魔系団も大講堂も誰の手に渡してもダメだ。僕らが気づいたことでさえ誰にも知られない方がいい。
キフリ、何を言っとる。お前さん、自分の言葉の意味が分かっとるのかね。何をするつもりじゃ。その魔木で何を。
No, we don't need to turn to murder.
ごめんなさい、ノルノアさん。
I was like, we don't need to turn to murder. He can literally erase his memories. So much for, oh, you are destroying a part of the person and stuff.
ここ待たせたね。あの魔木の瓶だけど間違えてすごく高価なものを渡しちゃったみたい。代わりにカバンを買ったからこれを使って。
ありがとうございます。知ってしまった世界、守りたいものも壊しちゃって。
By the way, still no pen. We did not get a quill or whatever.
先生、銀ダミ症って何ですか？
銀ダミ症は生まれつき世界があらゆるものが銀色に覆われて見える目のことだよ。魔法使いは視力を尊ぶ風潮があるからこの世界では苦労するかもしれないね。例外に厳しいのは魔法使いの良くないところだよ。ここ。
Okay.
そう不安そうな顔をしないで。大丈夫だよ。僕のアトリエの生徒である限り僕は君を全力で守る。君が心配することは何もないんだ。何もね。
Okay. So it just is he never got the chance to try to be a witch. I see. Because of his condition. And again, yeah, so we can assume the old man has his memories erased.
じいちゃん、ごめんなさい。さっきの光にびっくりして、この辺の瓶
What light?
崩しちゃったんだ。あの強い光何だったの？キーフリーさんの魔法？
はて、光？何も光っとらんよ。
じいちゃん。
Yeah, you don't. It destroys a part of humans and humanity and personality bullshit. I mean, I can understand. I can't understand. We don't know his background story, but he has a vendetta against the brimmed heads for some reason, and he needs to find them. He has a connection now. He has an additional connection. And he can't let anyone else interfere. Now, we still don't have a pen for Coco. We now have an idea how this happened. It was Coco who did it because she used the super ink to use the spell, which destroyed a lot of the space. And it's only so strong because the brimmed head put its blood in, which is the question: is that knowledge that people know? Is that forbidden? It's always one of those things where you can't really forbid something because people will try to do it, right? So if you forbid that people add blood to the inks, now people know you can add blood to the ink. What does it have as an effect? Just forbidding it is not really that much of a deterrent, right? To at least try it out. But if you don't forbid it, people don't know that you could do that until someone tries. Again, we have those rules which may or may not be true. So that is going to be interesting. We saw a bunch of different spells that had sometimes even double layer or double circus, which we still have no explanation for how exactly that happens. At least not from the limited stuff that I remember. We have the doorknobs, which work similar to a window way, which is an interesting system. The question is, how far can they connect to the rooms as well? Could he take the doorknob, come to the bridge atelier, put it on the wall, and then teleport to the home, or not? Or is that a two-way spell? You have one part on the doorknob and the other part of the spell is on the wall. So it connects, maybe?